Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. To introduce myself, I'm Apostle. I'm one of the BD leads at Accurist. And today I wanted to walk you a bit through our project and some of the ideas we had in mind about how you can engage with our network over the course of this hackathon. So to start off briefly, what is Accurist? In short, Accurist is a decentralized computing network that is powered by smartphones. The reason why we have picked smartphones is because, first of all, they are distributed by design. Everyone usually nowadays owns a smartphone. And additionally, they're one of the most scalable consumer grade computing devices. The reason being, in a single year, there are around 1.39 billion smartphones being sold worldwide. And in general, these are devices that have almost a 3-year replacement cycle. So a lot of the compute goes underutilized, whether your phone is charging or when you're about to throw it away. Actually, the smartphone can function perfectly as long as the motherboard in it is still proper. So we wanted to take advantage of this computing power that remained underutilized in our daily lives. Additionally, all the smartphones that are onboarded onto the Accurist network have a trusted execution environment within them. And this is very interesting because, first of all, it allows for attestation, proving that the smartphone has been onboarded onto the Accurist network. And at the same time, all the compute that goes through our network remains confidential and untamperable with. And this, again, is due to the trusted execution environment. Within the smartphone itself, at the moment, we have over 130,000 onboarded onto the network, which have been responsible for 41,000, a bit over 41,000 deployments, which would translate to approximately over 450 million transactions. Now that you know a bit about Acris, it's good to look at what makes us different and some of the use cases that we have been used for. So starting off, what really makes Acris interesting is that we're able to provide computing, bandwidth, and storage all in a single place. However, storage, I will mention that it's still being worked on and will be available in a couple of weeks. So for this presentation, we'll just focus on the confidential computing and the bandwidth that you're able to take advantage of. And this flexibility has really enabled us to take advantage of and actually have an enormous amount of use cases ranging from confidential execution, decentralized bandwidth, on-chain automation, and ZK-proof generation, for example. However, for this presentation and for the hackathon, I would like to particularly focus on two use cases that I believe would be quite revolutionary and will be taking advantage of the Accurist suite, so the compute and the bandwidth. The first one is decentralized scrapers. So how we want to build this out. In short, all the smartphones onto the Accurist network can provide computing for the scraping itself and also the device's IPs. And this is quite revolutionary in terms of the architecture. At the moment, the way it's done is you would have a separate proxy network, which will be reserved for fetching devices' IPs from different geolocations, and then either your own computing network or you would use a separate cloud compute providers like AWS, Azure, and the like to actually do the scraping itself. So what we're offering through having both the compute and the IP on a single device is we're simplifying the architecture and also removing a source of latency. For this, we've built out a Puppeteer example that leverages the mobile web view. You can look at this link, and I believe this presentation will be distributed after this. So I think you will be able to access the link too after this call. However, you will need a collection endpoint. So this means you would actually need a place to store this data after you have scraped it. So that's the first idea that we want to bring to the hackathon users. The second one is confidential agentic AI. As previously stated, every smartphone that has been onboarded onto the Accurist network has a trusted execution environment. And this ensures that all the computation remains confidential and tamper-proof. And this would be ideal for developers that want to run these confidential, more affordable, smaller language models. One infrastructure play that I think our infrastructure here would be quite interesting for use cases in the area of reinforcement learning inference, or even running a sort of mesh of small language models. And this is something we're also developing with a partner of ours, but it would also be great to see the ideas that the hackathon participants are able to come up with. For this, you can look through our documentation. We have a specific tab that focuses on how to run an LLM using Accurist. And as a final note, it is also compatible with OpenAI API. And finally, why I want to bring your attention to 3 articles or news, so to speak, that really shows why we should be excited and why Accurist in itself is actually the perfect infrastructure play for the future of AI. So first, the first tab that you can see is a statement from Turley. He is responsible for ChatGPT within OpenAI, and they themselves try to build out this this indexer slash scraper. However, for them, it was not possible to do, as they were a centralized, as they're a centralized project. And with Accurist, this is something you're able to do actually, and could be very interesting. Another is a paper that was written by NVIDIA folks that described why small language models are the future of agentic AI. And in summary, small language models themselves are actually very powerful, despite the name. On certain tasks, they're even better than large language models, as they hallucinate less and have more specialized knowledge within that specific domain. Additionally, they themselves are more affordable. And I believe, although there is some research being built out in this space, it's still not finalized. I think when it comes to working on this mesh architecture of small language models working to solve a problem together, I think this would be something very interesting. And Accurist as itself is perfectly positioned as the infrastructure play. And the third one is a tweet from Elon Musk, who stated that devices such as smartphones will be the future for AI inference, and they'll be just used as edge nodes. The reason being is they have the computing power, but also they don't suffer from bandwidth limitations that servers have. If you wish to connect with the team, feel free to go to our Discord and select your role as a developer and basically engage with the developer server. And Andreas from our team will be there to help you out if you have any technical remarks or any questions about how to use our network more specifically. That is it on my end. I'm open to any questions or comments from the hackathon participants. If there are no questions, feel free to again connect with us over at Discord. We're also available on Telegram. Thank you again for your time, and thank you for having me on the hackathon.